Hello guys and welcome to the channel. You are watching Slick Tech X and today we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. Now I personally have been using the Z Fold 4 for the past 9 months and I will share my own experience on owning a foldable device along with some insights on the customer support and its comparison with some of the other folds out there, which should then help you decide on whether you should buy the Z Fold 5 or upgrade to it from a previous version. At the end, it even might make sense to just go for the Z Fold 4 and save some money to get your first foldable experience. Let's do it. So Samsung has been making foldables for a few years now. However, with the initial versions of the Fold 1, 2 and 3, Samsung was still working on perfecting its design and software. It was the Z Fold 4 when Samsung made major changes which added some key abilities that one expects from a flagship device that comes around a hefty price tag of 1.5 lakh rupees or $1799. Z Fold 4 now had a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip which was not only efficient but also 80% more powerful than the previous version. They added an improved set of cameras with 50 megapixel main camera with 23% larger sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical and 30 times space zoom. It now had a screen that adapts from 1 to 120 Hz, adding to the already improved battery life from the efficient new chip. New taskbar and support for 3 tiles of multi-window support, Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, IPX8 water resistance rating, slimmed down bezel on both the inside and outside screen, making the phone both smaller and lighter but with same sized inside screen and a slightly bigger outer display. And to be honest, with these upgrades and the folds now well stable in their hardware, software and design, it was more than enough to at least get me into buying my first foldable phone. So let's now talk about the experience of owning a foldable device as your daily driver. Now even though I'm talking about the Fold 4 here, almost everything is true with the experience you get on a Fold 5, if not better. Let's start with the design and in-hand feel of the phone. The phone definitely feels premium with aluminium frame with a less wider form factor that makes the phone very comfortable in hand as compared to holding any other flagship non-folding phone like your S23 Ultra or iPhone. And with the Fold, whenever you need a wider screen, you can simply open the phone to enjoy the bigger display for all your content consumption and multitasking needs. Coming to the performance, it's been 9 months and this phone is still top notch, with software being very snappy with very minimal software glitches that you will almost have in any other phone including your iPhones. Talking about the camera, even though they are not the same as the S23 Ultras of this world, but are a solid 8 out of 10 with sharp and punchy colors and even performs well in low light conditions. I will let you guys have a look at some of these samples and decide if they are good enough for you. Personally, they never made me feel that I am missing an S23 Ultra or an iPhone-like camera. Watching content on the bigger inner display is the most time I have spent on this phone, to a point where my 11-inch iPad Pro is being used less and less every day. On apps like YouTube, you can watch the content on the large top half of the display while continuing to scroll or open other apps on the bottom half. Turning the screen lets you see even more, letting you interact much better with the content. Now taking this phone out in public is also a fun experience. As soon as you take out the phone with its unusual form factor, which you can magically open to make it bigger or snap close in half, I mean, how cool that must seem, and I enjoy looking at those reactions. Now I know it feels way better without a case, but if you are paying this much for a phone, I would highly recommend getting a case like the one which I bought with a stand and an S Pen. Now I did end up using the stand quite a lot while watching content, but I hardly found myself using the pen after starting few days, so if you don't have a lot of use for the pen, I would recommend going for stand only version of the case. I personally used just the back panel of the case, which served the purpose of a stand, protected the phone from getting scuffed from the sides and prevented the phone from becoming bulky as compared to putting the front cover also on. So let's now talk about the customer support, especially on these flagship devices. Now my experience back in the day with the Note 5, then the S21 Ultra and now with the Fold 4 has been excellent. I had some hinge issues where the phone was not opening flat, so I took it to the customer support. They obviously replaced the hinge to fix the issue, but for some reason they replaced even the inner and the outer display along with the frame and the battery for some reason. So basically, after using the phone for about 6 months, I got a brand new phone with all the earlier dents and scuff on the frame, any scratches on the screen, all gone, and a battery with 100% health. However, I think the frame is not of the same quality, as I have started getting scratches from the case on the newer frame which I didn't get before while using the same case. A thing to note though, the inner foldable screen comes with a pre-installed screen protector, which if in case peels off, you can get it replaced at a service center for about 1800 rupees, but due to complaints from user in many countries, this replacement has now been made free once per customer as well. Alright, so now let's discuss whether you should buy the Z Fold 5 or upgrade to it from a previous version, or is it the right time to get into the foldables in 2023 for the very first time. So if you somehow have managed to keep your Fold 1 and Fold 2 working for this long, then an upgrade to a Fold 5 is worth it and you will generally feel a significant improvement throughout the device. However, if you are using a Fold 3, you can upgrade to see improvements overall, but I would suggest you should wait at least one more year and then upgrade to the Fold 6. Now coming to a decision on upgrading from Fold 4 to 5, it's a simple answer that you should not upgrade and should be looking to upgrade at around the Fold 7 mark, when Samsung will do some noticeable changes like increasing the size of outer display by a little more, providing better set of cameras along with a bigger battery with support for at least 45 watt fast charging. And at last, if you are thinking of getting into the world of foldables and wondering if it's the right time, I can happily tell you that yes, you can without any doubt buy a foldable in 2023. If there are some good deals, you can even save some money by buying a Fold 4, which will be much better value for money and will be able to take you through the next 3-4 years without any issues. Talking about the biggest competitor of this fold, the Xiaomi and Google Pixel Fold, I would not recommend going for it right now because the support for them in India is not that great, and I have seen people struggling to have their issues resolved even with their normal non-folding phones, which if you are in US for Google and China for Xiaomi should not be an issue and you can consider buying them. But coming back to India, Samsung has been in Indian markets for a long time now and provides a very well connected network of customer support, giving you a much better user experience. Alright, that's it for today. I hope the information shared in the video would help you make a better buying decision. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.